It has been a pretty wild and crazy day with what happened with the Olympics opening ceremony and all the stuff that's going on around that. It appears that that is going to be possibly another Bud Light moment as the Olympic Committee has actually taken down their YouTube of this ceremony. Chinese government has banned it from being shown in China because it was so anti-Christian. And many people are just not watching the Olympics, and one advertiser has already backed out of advertising on the Olympics. Uh, you know me, I am totally against woke. I'm totally against postmodernism. I'm totally against communism and Marxism, and all of that, I believe, is part of what was going on that stage. Of course, the fact that it was vile to anyone who has a Christian who believes in Jesus, that would be another problem with it. But anyway, it's been a wild day. That such a thing could take place on an Olympic stage in front of children is kind of shocking. Anyway, can you believe it that we only have 46 days to 10-10? 46 days to 10-10. It seems like 5 minutes ago we were waiting for 8-8, but here we go. Well, with the amazing, absolutely incredible 12.5 results we're hearing about, it seems that we could begin to see some FOMO developing over the next few weeks as we get closer and closer to 10-10. We'll talk more about that 12.5 in a second. Now, for those who are critical of Tesla for not selling more cars or not fielding more models, they should be pretty happy about the 2025 setup with 5 vehicles ramping, and that doesn't count the Cybertruck, which will be continuing to ramp from this year. Actually, it doesn't count the Model 3, which is ramping various vehicles this year and will be it's probably fully ramped now, but will be, I think, continuing to sell more and more next year. Anyway, I think the Cybertruck is going to just continue to go bigger and bigger and bigger. Larry said last night he thinks it could be a million seller. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think there's every reason to believe that the Cybertruck is going to be something that is sold in Australia, Europe, and probably even China, maybe lots of other countries as well. I don't think there's anything that's going to get in the way of that happening. Elon has indicated that they're working towards making that happen. Okay, let's take a look at that 12.5 updates. I listened to it. Videos. I listened to all the chatter on X today. If you've been on X today, you know I've been on X today. I am trying to become monetized there. The minimum you have to do is 55,000 a day for 90 days on average in order to become monetized. I was been trying to get that, and today looks like I'm going to hit about 125,000 a day. So that's going to be real helpful in terms of getting monetized. See if I can keep that up for multiple days in a row. This old geezer, you can't keep me down. I'm gonna keep starting new lines of revenue like this YouTube channel that I just started 19 months ago and is already quite a successful channel. All right, so what do we have? We have so far everybody's saying that it's absolutely so smooth, better than average, not even average drivers, better than the best drivers compared to a chauffeur. That it's just smooth as it can be, really takes into consideration the passengers' comfort. Handles 90%, way over 90% of all the difficult situations that people have been putting it through. But there are still some interventions and there are still a few safety interventions. But now people are just kind of thinking this is mop-up time. And people are pretty excited. People that, are normally excited by Tesla, but are saying, no, we think this is done. What are you hearing? Are you hearing anything other than that? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, now this analysis that follows demonstrates how Tesla's reported key margins are improved quarter over quarter. This is from yeah, right. AJ. This is from AJ. He says this analysis demonstrates how Tesla's reported key margins, every one, improved quarter over quarter, and had even jumped to a one-year high, adjusted for both exceptionally negative, very high restructuring charges, and positives, high credit sales. So he says, number one, Tesla's, oh, I'm sorry. So that's what he believes is taking place right now. Gary Black comes back and he says, look, I'm all in. I'm good. And I'm, a Gary Black fan. Some of you are not, but but Gary Black says, look, he says, here are his positive reasons investors should consider buying Tesla right now. He says, number one, Elon reconfirmed that the more affordable 25 to 30,000 Tesla vehicle will start deliveries in 2025. This is classic TAM expansion by leveraging a premium brand to lower price segments. Elon was deliberately vague to prevent the Osborne effect on more expensive models. Now, yes, this is true. It is a classic TAM expansion, but it is a dangerous TAM expansion for multiple reasons we don't have time to go into, but you can think right off the top. Number one, you can absolutely cannibalize the higher price product. You can lower the perception of luxury that the brand might have. So people that are driving the car because they want to have that perception of luxury, all of a sudden, if there's another product in the lineup that's really super inexpensive, then it's like, well, now I'm just running with the regular folks. Well, those things are probably going to happen. You can remember Model E, maybe if you're old. Well, you're all old, old like me. But anyway, you can remember when Mercedes came out with the Model E. That was one of the concerns, one of the considerations. And Model E has done okay. I don't think that it's done great. Number two, Robotaxi event on 10/10 will instill confidence in investors that Tesla will indeed be first to introduce generalized unsupervised FSD. Number three, Tesla energy business continues to soar. Tesla's second quarter energy gross profits increased by 200% versus the 2023 second quarter. In the second quarter, energy was 16% of Tesla gross profits versus 11% in the first quarter. He says, number four, we expect at least one other OEM will give up on autonomy and instead license Tesla's FSD technology. That's what Gary expects. Elon, of course, had mentioned there were two or three, I think basically three, a few people in the million class, the million production per year class that we're talking about licensing. Number five, while auto gross margins ex regulatory credits hit new 36-month lows, the switch to the 0 to 2% financing deals instead of further price cuts is positive in his opinion. Loan rate buy downs can be reversed anytime. It doesn't hurt the residual values, doesn't train customers to wait for more deals. I think all of that is incorrect. It doesn't hurt residual values. That part's true. It does train consumers to wait for the next low interest rate deal. Anyway, I am all for the low interest rate deals. I think they're fine. Plenty of companies in the auto industry have been using that approach for, I don't know, decades and decades. Number six, auto gross margins still being negatively impacted by the Cybertruck ramp. Yes, we know this. By 2025, when Cybertruck is delivering 25,000 trucks per quarter, by 2025, when Cybertruck is delivering 25,000 trucks per quarter, 25,000 trucks per quarter. No, they'll be delivering 50 plus thousand trucks per quarter. Anyway, Tesla Cybertruck should be able to turn a profit. Yeah, well, he said they'd be profitable by the end of the year, and they'll probably be doing that 25,000 per quarter by the end of the year. In fact, I'm sure they will. 20,000 this quarter, 25,000 next quarter, at least, maybe more. Seven, China third quarter sales are off to their best start in 5 quarters as Tesla China extended its 0% financing promotion and doesn't even mention that China's doubled the amount of their rebate or their program that they have going on over there that the government is providing. Number 8, once the Fed starts cutting rates, and it's 100% odds implied for September, long duration, high PE stocks should respond the most, assuming we're not heading into a recession. So by that, you know what he means. He means that we get the valuation of Tesla by looking 5 years out, 3 years out, 2 years out, depending on which method you use. What do you think it'll be worth at that time? And then backing it into the current valuation based on the cost of money. And as the cost of money goes down, then the value of the stock should go up. Okay, then AJ comes back and he says, okay, He says Tesla's most important primary margins strengthened in the second quarter 24, but less important secondary margins, auto margins, for instance, weakened. Says excluding one-time, number two, excluding one-time restructuring charges and including normalized lower credit sales, Tesla would have reached 1-year high key margins in the second quarter. He says, I hope my analyst colleagues who continue to hold on to yesteryear's thinking finally realize that auto margins become less relevant with every passing quarter, just as Apple's iPod sales were, as the iPhone emerged, or as NVIDIA's gaming card sales were when the GP data centers entered into the scene. So yes, we hope everybody gets that. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. Did you know that? Yeah. Could you hit like? Did you already did it? Thank you so much. That's so great. And then hit subscribe. Yeah, but come on, subscribe. And then notify, because of course, tomorrow I've got a Larry Goldberg clip from the longer biography. So if you didn't watch the Larry Goldberg full-on hour and 15-minute biography, but you'd like to see a clip, I've got a great clip coming up tomorrow. We'll have something else in the morning, not sure exactly what. And then Sunday night, one of your favorite shows, or at least maybe not yours, but overall, one of the best shows, in terms of people watching it, is our Monday morning show, which we do on Sunday night to talk about what's coming up next week. I can't imagine anything coming up next week. I mean, they don't have any Fed meetings or something, or possibly, I don't know, some folks that are going to find out how the employment numbers are. Anyway, there's a couple of things, and maybe some earnings reports from some small, I don't know, tech companies or something. Anyway, hit the notify so that you get reminded to come and see that program tomorrow night. It should be a barn burner. And then Patreon, come on now, it's time. Yeah, come on, I need another $50 person. You got any other $50 people out there? Yeah, that'd be great. But listen, I'll take the 10s and the 5s and the 3s rather. Those will be great too. And I am trying to remember to put up more content on Patreon. And some weeks I do good and some weeks I don't do as well. All right. So then let's take a look at the financial situation right now, the economics in the country right now. Farmer, this is the biggie. Okay, this is huge. It's not impacting. Anyway, former President Donald Trump at a rally today, had actually a cryptocurrency meeting, a conference, told those enthusiasts that he would establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve and would fire the Securities and Exchange Commissioner Chairman Gary Gensler if he is returned to the White House in November. Trump, in the keynote address, said he described the planned steps as part of an agenda that would turbocharge the Bitcoin industry. He says, you are building America's future with your own smarts, your own grit, and your own skin in the game. He said, my job will be to set you free. Trump's crypto platform also included a vow to establish a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council and to cease consideration of a central bank generated digital currency. That must be music to the ears of these people. One of their great fears is the United States would decide to put out their own currency. The formation of the strategic Bitcoin reserve, which would boost crypto prices, was among the most hoped for initiatives among holders of the currency. Well, then Reuters said this. They said, Trump told an audience of cryptocurrency enthusiasts that Bitcoin was going to the moon, and he wanted the U.S. to lead the way. And Fortune said, I pledge, this is another quote from Trump, I pledge to the Bitcoin community the day I take the oath of office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's anti-crypto crusade will be over. It will end. It will be done, he said. The moment I'm sworn in, the persecution stops and the weaponization ends against your industry. So Bitcoin was moving up quite nicely early on. Last time I checked, some of that had sold back down, but it was still up about 400 or 500 for the day. Okay, now Barron says, look, the rotation is still going, and there is a small rotation. I wouldn't call this a very robust rotation, but listen, I can have my mind changed. If we're in rotation, that's fine. If we're in broadening out, that's fine. Of course, we're no longer retreating, at least on Friday. Who knows what will happen on Monday? especially Hezbollah is shooting some missiles, it appears, that killed 12 children. And these are actual children, like 10-year-olds and whatnot that were playing soccer in a field. They weren't even Israeli children. Anyway, well, they were Israeli residents, but they were not Jewish. Okay, let's talk about the rotation. The S&P small cap 600. So this is something I wasn't really ever paying attention to. There's a S&P small cap 600. This index rose 3.6 this past week as investors rebalanced their portfolios to own a little bit more of the small stuff and slightly less of the tech heavyweights, fueling the rotation, although the tech heavyweights did fine on Friday. Fueling the the rotation rather. Inflation data continues to behave. June's personal consumption index was at 2.5. We know that. While second quarter gross domestic product rose faster than expected, 2.8, though nothing in the data suggested overheating. 2.8 would be good, not phenomenal. I don't think it's going to hold up. I don't think there's a chance in the world we are 2.8 in the second quarter. Nothing that I've seen. Can you tell me anything in the economy? Is it housing? Is it auto? Government, maybe, but where else? Is it retail? Is it I don't grocery? I'm sorry, I can't find the 2.8 increase, but we'll see. Taken together, that should allow the Federal Reserve to cut the interest rate in September, unless, of course, we find out on this upcoming Friday that the unemployment rate is only 3.9 or something like that, which would cause them to go, well, maybe not. Okay, taken together, that should allow the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates in September as the market expects, 96% or something, supporting economic growth and restoring the market's confidence in sales and profits across sectors. By the way, I believe that the unemployment rate is probably going to stay at 4.1 or go to 4.2, and the previous months will all be shown that they were higher than expected. They'll be modified downward as they have been almost every single month. That will pretty much ice it. That'll pretty much tell us that we will have cuts in September. Although if other people are correct, and I don't know this to be true, if the Federal Reserve is getting that information 2 days ahead of time, they could even make the cut this Wednesday. That would be exciting. I don't know if it'd be good, but it would be exciting. While it's been quite a rally, the S&P 600 is up about 6%. Small caps should be able to keep rising, even if they might need to take a breather. Long-term, the rotation has further to run, according to Everscore ISI strategist Julian Emanuel. All right, so that's what I got for you today. Very interesting day, very interesting week, very interesting weekend. I'll be looking forward to seeing you 3 times at least tomorrow. I'm going to put, speaking of 3, I'm going to put those 3 cards up right now. It'll be all 3 cards, be the one for Robotaxi, one for Optimus, and one for energy storage. All 3 cards up from these videos that were up this morning. Maybe everything that's on there, if you're really paying a lot of attention to this channel, you're on like, half an hour to an hour a day. Maybe those 3 videos are just going to tell you stuff you already know. But if you're, more sporadic and you're only, watching here and there, maybe there's going to be a lot of information there that would be valuable for you. Okay. And then, of course, Patreon. That'd be so cool. So cool. Join Patreon. Description below. Easy to do. All right. That's it. Been great talking to you.